Hello and welcome back to the Football Manager 20 experiment where we're making Andorra the best national team in the world. This is the fourth and final part today, so hopefully we're going to see them get to number one in the world. But if you missed the first three parts, then there's going to be a link on top of the screen right now for you to go back right to the start and get all caught up. If you are all caught up, then welcome back. Hope you're all doing well today. Last time we got up to 2054, where we are right now, where Andorra got to 52nd in the world rankings. They've qualified for a World Cup before, they've qualified for a couple European Championships. They're in the A-Leagues of the UEFA Nations League, so they're doing pretty well. We've got a decent team around us as well. Some good players coming through if the senior squad wants to load. Some good players with some good potential coming through. If we sort it by potential, you can see some pretty decent ones there. Not too many youngsters there right now, but hopefully we'll see some good stuff coming through. As previously mentioned, though, we're going to turn things up to the ante. We are turning the generated player thing from 140 to 200. This makes sure that they should have the best regens coming through possible. So rather than going a usual 12 years in the future, I'm just going to leave it running overnight and just sort of see where we come back. So I'll see you in a minute's time. And so we are now back in the future. I've left it simulating overnight, and we're now in 2082, so a good 28 years since the last time you saw us. So hopefully a lot of stuff has gone on there. So if we search up Andorra, then we should get an indication of whereabouts they are in the world rankings. They're currently 12th in the world rankings. That is fantastic. So not quite number one in the world yet, but they are very, very close. 12th in the world, then that's the highest they've ever been after being in sort of a low teens for quite some time. And then suddenly had a big jump over summer, so that means they must have done well in the World Cup. So because we've gone 28 years in the future, doing a detailed look at their schedule will take a long time. So we're going to go through things relatively quickly and just sort of look out for big wins if they got to World Championships, European Championships, things like that. European Championships in 2056, but not really doing anything with it. World Cup qualifying went well, but not qualifying for it in 2058. Again, European Championships going well. They always seem to qualify for the European Championships now, but always get knocked out in the group stage. So no progress there yet. That looks like a good World Cup qualifying year, but still not qualifying for that World Cup. That's really frustrating. Doing well in UEFA Nations League, though, Division B, so they seem to be bouncing between the B Leagues and the A Leagues. European Championship qualifying, they must have topped their group there with some big wins over teams like Belgium. Go forward another year. They do get to the European Championships, but only get to the second round. That's the first time they've got through the group stages, I believe, in 2064. This time, World Cup qualifying, they must have qualified for a World Cup. They drew with Italy, drew with Wales, won the rest of them, including a 5-0 win over Liechtenstein, a 12-0 win over Liechtenstein. Big games. They must be in a World Cup. They do get to a World Cup, and they do very, very well. The 2066 World Cup, they look like they'll probably win their group with a win over Egypt and lose to Mexico, maybe second in the group then. They get through Paraguay on extra time. They get past Italy winning 3-1. They beat Morocco in extra time, lose to Germany in the World Cup semi-final, and then lose to England in the third, fourth playoff place. So they came fourth in the 2066 World Cup. Brilliant stuff, that must have been a real good boost to them in their world rankings. If we keep going forward, European Championship looks good there. They get to the quarterfinals of the 2068 World Cup. That's a little bit annoying that they didn't get any further. They lost to Portugal 2-1 in the quarterfinals. World Cup qualifying goes extremely well again, this time only getting to the third round of the World Cup after losing to France 4-1 in the third round. 2071, good qualifying. Second round of the European Championships again, good World Cup qualifying again. I don't have to say that anymore, do I? But they do actually get knocked out of the group stage of the World Cup after losing to New Zealand. Like, where are they in the world rankings? 69th. I mean, that's a bad loss for Andorra there. 2075 looks good. 76 European Championships knocked out of the group stages. World Cup qualifying goes well again. World Cup goes well again. Quarterfinals of the World Cup. Are they ever going to win a World Cup, though? That's what we want to see. European Championships goes well. They get to the semi-finals of the European Championships in 2080. Losing 1-0 in the semi-final to Spain. 2081 good qualifying. And they get to the quarterfinals of the World Cup again, losing to Spain in the World Cup knockout stages. Unfortunate. But that's all years. They've done pretty well. Looking at their history, they've actually won a European Under-19 Championships. They won that in 2057, so that's quite a long time ago, to be fair. So if we look at the past winners of that, they did win it back in 2057 there, beating Spain in the final, but by looks of things haven't got to they've got to another final, got to the 2082 final, losing to Spain in that one. So it looks like Spain and Andorra are like the best nations in the world, pretty much. It's probably because I have got the Spanish leagues loaded up as well as the Andorran ones. That does help it out a little bit, I suppose. My national squad looks good. This guy here, 196 potential. Didn't quite get there because he's 27 and only 178 potential. But he looks pretty good. 101 caps, 78 goals, plays for Bayern Munich right now. Sold for 110 million from Man United to Bayern Munich. Still not seen a transfer as big as that 204 million that we saw a few episodes ago. That was a huge transfer. If we sorted by current ability, he's the actual best player there. There's some youngsters with a little bit of potential still, but nothing world beating. Under 21 squad, nothing major there. Under 20 squad, one guy looks good there, goalkeeper, 173 potential, he could be quite useful. Under 19 squad, not so much there either. Now we will have a bit more of an in-depth look at the Andorran First Division, but I want to go forward again. Alright, we're 12th in the world right now. Andorran First Division is up to 6th best league in all of Europe. I want to leave it another day. I'm going to go to work and then sort of simulate through again. And hopefully by that point, we're so close, we might be number one in the world, both in leagues and in world football. So once again, I'm just going to go on holiday indefinitely and come back after work and see what's happened. And so back once again, we're now in 2105, 23 years on from where we just came from in 2082. I had to think about that then. But we're now back in 2105, a big year. Andorra, please be number one in the world. Please be number one in the world. They've jumped up to fourth. They've dropped down to 14th, unfortunately, which actually is their highest they've been in recent times. So maybe they haven't managed to eclipse that 12th place finish, unfortunately. But 14th best in the world, it's good going. So we will very quickly skim through to see if they've actually won anything. I'm not sure if they have done. I mean, European Championship qualifying goes well. Knocked out the quarterfinals there. World Cup knocked out at the third round there against Italy in extra time. European Championships, another quarterfinal, losing to England that time. Then World Cups, the third place playoff again. Second time we see them get to a World Cup semi-final. That's good going for them, but obviously just missing out. They get to, what's International League? That's the UEFA Nations League, isn't it? So they came fourth in the UEFA Nations League in that particular cycle. Second round of the European Championships. Second round of the World Cup. Again, quarterfinals of the European Championships, and then quarterfinals of the World Cup. We can see a bit of a trend here. They just are a quarterfinal side. They are England written all over. Knocked out of the group stage every now and again as well, like an England squad. They get to the final of the World Cup, but lose to Denmark. Oh, that's if they'd won that, they probably would have got to the best team in the world in 2102. 103, nothing. They get to the semi-finals of the European Championships, and then that's the win of the World Cup year. So close, yet so far. Got a team of some good players in there as well. This guy is the best one. He is a central defender, currently playing for Bayern Munich. 144 caps for Andorra across his time after he was bought for £45 million from Santa Coloma. So, First Division, that's still 6th best in the world right now, or Europe, I should say. So that's very good going. Santa Coloma's dominance that lasted for decades, apart from one win there for Urgendy in the 2051-52 season. Decades of domination for Santa. In fact, Santa Coloma came third that season, which was pretty bad for them. But after decades, as I say, they have finally lost a bit of supremacy. First St. Julia and now Inter de Escaldes. Inter de Escaldes is the team. So they've done pretty well. They've got worldwide reputation with a value of $2 billion. Oh, the stadium's 58. Right, let's have a look at the stadiums here in the Andorran First Division. Let's have a look at the stadiums. So, Santa Coloma have got a 63,000-seater stadium. Inter de Escaldes have got 58,000. St. Julia, 55. Urgendy, have got 23,000. UE Santa Coloma have got 20. I mean, massive stadiums. When you consider especially that if we go back and have a quick look at Andorra themselves. According to the game, the population is only 72,000. Now, obviously, that was taken right at the very start of this save. So it might be over 100,000 population now, but still, massive stadiums. So have Santa Coloma ever won any European competitions? They've won 2 Europa Leagues. That's fantastic to see. 2053 and 2077. Let's have a look at the Europa League then. Who has won it then in recent years? Have we seen any Andorran sides get there? If we look down this list, so the Inter de Escaldes have won it as well. They've won it in 2092, so that's another Andorran side winning a European competition. Coloma have got to a couple finals. I've had the Escaldes as well, actually. They've got to a couple finals and lost a few finals. But Santa Coloma have won it twice. Inter have won it once. I think that's all the sides we can sort of see there. Trabzonspor. They've won they came runners-up, I should say, in a Europa League in the most recent one, which is interesting. And if you notice, I'm wearing a Trabzonspor top right now. Magic. Europa Conference League then, let's see who's won that. St. Julia have won that a couple of times. That's good to see. St. Julia getting a few of those in recent years. Inter have won it a couple of times. What have Inter won then? Let's have a look at their history. 1 Europa League and 3 Europa Conference Leagues. That's pretty impressive. St. Julia, they just won the 2 Europa Conference Leagues. They've won 2 Europa Conference Leagues. Caroy, they've come runners-up in Europa Conference League. Have they won it at all? They've not won it, but they came runners-up in it one year. So that's good going for another Andorran side. I mean, Inter have had a good team for a long time because they won it back in 2058. So they've had a good team for a long time, just outshadowed by Santa Coloma for a long time, but suddenly they are the best side now. So it's probably worth looking then at the Champions League. I don't think anyone's got there because it would have been a Santa Coloma or an Inter winning it, and we've not seen them win one yet. And I can't even see anyone getting to the finals, let alone winning it from Andorra. So the Champions League, always just a little bit too far away from these Andorran sides, unfortunately. No one quite getting the win there, which is a great shame, but it's something we've had to deal with. So we came close, but unfortunately it was just too far. 14th, got to 12th best in the world at the very best. 14th right now. I think we can sort of say it's a success, really. It is a success. Not quite number one, but we got very, very close. Now, just a quick reminder, if you've enjoyed this series and you want to get your hands on the save files for all of this, then on my Patreon, if you subscribe to a certain level, you get access to every single experiment save file that I put out, everything like that. So if you're already on the Patreon, all that stuff's going to be there right now for you. If you're not on the Patreon, sign up to it, get yourself in these save files. There are plenty of more experiments coming soon for you that you're going to really like. Wednesday, we're going to try and get a player to score 100 goals in a season. 100 goals in one season. Is it possible? I don't know yet. I'm going to try and work out, but we're going to try and do that. We're also going to try and have a goalkeeper to keep a clean sheet for a whole season. That's coming out on Friday. So 2 kind of new experiments coming out for you later on this week. So if you want to get access to those ones as well, also Patreon, get yourself on it. Other than that though, thank you very much for watching this little mini experiment series. I hope you have enjoyed it. Maybe we can try it again with another team in the future at some point. We came close with Andorra. Maybe Liechtenstein, New Zealand, something like that. They could do it maybe. Either way, thank you very much for watching today's video. Again, I hope you have enjoyed it. Drop a like on the video if you have done, and I will see you next time for some more experiments. Have a good one. Goodbye.